Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, September 2021 full moon. How will Libra be affected by the September 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Oh, goodness. And spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So at the bottom is our root itself. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. If we have Cancer within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully at our root. And then we have the Empress, which is a beautiful combination. We then have the Eight of Fire, so things are changing quickly. And we have the Messenger of Earth, which is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have that within our natal chart, it's going to be bringing us messages within our inner self. But all in all, that's going to be a little bit more powerful than just if you don't have it within your natal chart. But all in all, the messages from the Earth are going to be powerfully guiding us forward. We then have the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the King of Pentacles. Again, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, coming through at our heart and having a very big influence over us. We have the Ten of Pentacles, prosperity and success. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is vampiric energy, which is a very interesting combination. We have the Empress coming through again, which is absolutely beautiful. And we have the High Priestess, which is one of my absolute favorite combinations. You have two court cards. You have 5 major arcana cards. This is always going to be major arcana because it's simply a major arcana deck. But there's intensity here that needs to be addressed and needs to be really looked at during this time. Now, this full moon is on the 20th of September, and it is in Pisces. It is the harvest moon, and it is really quite beautiful, intense, and powerful. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune brings beauty into the spiritual realm. And with this moon, it says here, balance spirituality with practicality. We're going to be looking at the spiritual realm, we're going to be looking at the practical realm, and seeing how the two come together, seeing how we come together during this time. It's going to be a very beautiful time for us, but it's also going to be an intense time emotionally because we're seeing things and feeling things so much more deeply. Neptune has sway over our dreams. So this is going to be a time where we dive deeply into our dreams, into what we want, into how we open up the door. But we also have the sense of, are my dreams right? Am I moving forward the right way? We question our dreams. And this is also a time where we can find it very easy to slip into our dreams, or to slip into an element of release instead of facing things head on. So if we have negative habits, or addictions, or negative coping mechanisms, which we all do, they will tend to come out a little bit stronger during this moon. So we could really feel like, oh, I just love to have a cigarette, or oh, I just love to have a drink, and then have to stop ourselves. Or we could feel like, oh wow, I just really like to eat that whole entire cake. We have to stop ourselves, because this is going to be a time where we're going to slip into self-indulgence in order to kind of step back from reality. So do be mindful of that. This is also, Neptune also rules the spiritual and the compassionate side of us. And so during this time, what we're going to see here is that we're hyper spiritual, we're hyper compassionate, and we're going to have a little bit trouble with boundaries. So if you're already empathic, or you already have trouble with boundaries to begin with, just be warned that this can be a time where we feel things a lot more strongly, and we have to be really firm with our boundaries. And we need to make sure to cleanse away any negative energy, because if we don't, it's going to kind of run rampant. So here, it's cleansing away the negative energy, it's embracing this full moon in Pisces, it's embracing us. And as we do so, we also realize that the full moon brings our family, friends, and close relationships into focus. Because the sun is opposite the moon, opposite factors within our life are really going to come to a head, or come to our attention more and more. This can lead to feeling drained energy-wise, but this can also lead to us discovering a lot more answers than we had thought to look for, because we're going to be looking in a way that is much closer to home and much more rooted within our heart. Our intuition and our emotional awareness is at their peak during this full moon, or during any full moon. Because this full moon is in Pisces, it's going to add an intensity to it. Now, Mercury is going to be trine Jupiter, which is amazingly powerful. It brings us optimism, generosity, good luck, and good news, which who doesn't like that? It also is going to bring us to a point where our instincts are on point, and we start to see the future more clearly. We start to see the way that we want things to line up. All of a sudden, there's going to be like a veil lifted from our eyes, amplified by the High Priestess in the public arena. But also there's going to be a creative element to us with the Empress that really opens up the door, has us seeing things more clearly, more openly, and has us claiming a power, an instinct, an intuition that we didn't think we would claim. Now, Mercury squared Pluto is going to be a little bit of a difficult energy, but it's not going to be as powerful as Mercury trine Jupiter. What we're going to see here is that we're very deep thinkers. We want things to be intense. We want things to be deep. We don't want things to just be surface conversations or just floating on the surface. The thing is that everybody wants this, and we're not going to be able to have these deep, intense conversations with everyone all the time. So we have to be mindful of that. This is also going to be a great time for research and work, because we dive into things deeply. With creating things, with bringing something to life, we dive into it full-heartedly. We have to make sure not to fall down that rabbit hole too intensely, or not to be caught up in things, because we can really be caught up in negativity, in things that make us upset, and we're like, oh, I'm just going to read one more thing, or oh, I'm just going to watch one more video, and we go deeper and deeper and deeper until it really pulls away our positive energy. It really pulls away our prosperity. So do be mindful of that. We're lucky because we have Jupiter semi-sextile Pluto, which helps soften the energy of Mercury squared Pluto, and also aligns us with the success of Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings powerful spiritual and personal growth, and the ability to create wealth and professional achievements. So what we're going to see here is that we're opening up the door. There's also a creative wealth that comes into play, which is amplified by the Empress that's here. Now this leads us then to the new moon in Libra, which says a new romantic cycle begins. And there will be a separate reading just on how we will be affected by the new moon. It then leads us to, and this is going to be a big thing as I just go over the new moon, because it's in Libra. So here, Libra, we are called to the energy of this new moon. It's going to be more intense for us than it is going to be for others, because it is in our sign. And it leads us then to the full moon on the, and this is on the new moon is in Libra on the 6th of October. There we go. And the full moon is in Aries on the 20th of October. And it leads us to a fiery climax approaching. It leads us to this intensity, to this ferocity, and to this power guiding us, leading us, and opening up the door. It brings us here to the Chariot, where we connect with our hearts. We connect with water sign energy. We connect with what we love. And that's going to be really intense for us, water sign energy in the full moon in Pisces, because it is a water sign, and also because the moon calls to water, calls to the water within us, calls to our blood, calls to the way that we're moving forward. And here there's a ferocity. Now, we have the woman riding a lion, which makes us think, well, at least makes me think of Leo. But Cancer energy moves right into Leo energy. There's a fierceness of the heart during this time. And the thing with the Chariot, where in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's a charioteer driving a chariot forward, then that's what represents Cancer. What we see is power. And yet we don't always realize it, because charioteers aren't a thing of today. A charioteer in ancient times was a king, a queen, an emperor, an empress, even a pharaoh. There's a hypothesis that that's how King Tutankhamun died. So what we have here is a force leading us forward, and a force that says, this is my heart, this is my soul, this is myself, this is me connecting. But there's also that fierceness, that intensity of Leo energy. There's that intensity of focus that we understand through the depiction of the lion. And there's a fierceness to us that we understand through the connection with our hearts. It leads us to the Empress. It leads us to claiming a throne we thought we lost, claiming a throne we never even knew we had, claiming a voice that has been silenced for too long, claiming an insight, an idea, an understanding that moves us forward and gives us our voice. Because we're not looking at things the same way, because we're not being held back by other people's expectations. What we're doing here is saying, I have the right to stand in this power, to stand in this insight, to stand in this ferocity, and nothing and no one is going to hold me back. There's a bit of magic here. That's why we have the magic and the will-o'-the-wisps floating around this tree. There's a bit of magic to us as we step forward, as we find our voice, as we create our passion, our instincts, our desire, and as we say, this is what I'm creating for my world. There is a creative element to us that is intense, that is powerful, that births forward something astounding. Because the Empress in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is depicted as being pregnant. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to birth forth a child at all, or even want to. But what it means is that we are creating a powerful, intense energy that gets to come from us, that gets to open up the door, that gets to be a part of who we are and where we want to be, and gets to be seen by the generations that come after us. It leads us to the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Fire. It leads us to this happening quickly, like the sun setting, a day ending. All of a sudden, it can feel like the day is never going to end, and then it's over. We're going to find this during this time. We can maybe not have the best grasp of time. We can look at things differently, need to look at things more openly, need to look at things more intensely for ourselves, but know that everything is changing. Know that we're here for the ride, and the ride is intensely beautiful, but it's also intense. It leads us to the messenger of Earth. It leads us to being very connected with our earthly plane, with the instincts and ideas and the messages that connecting with the earth, eating foods from our garden, eating, foods from the area that we live, connecting with the earth, going outside barefoot or wearing barefoot shoes, that starts to connect us with the healing energy that is a part of us. That starts to move us forward towards our instincts, towards our ideas, towards what we desire, and opens up the door in a way that we didn't expect the door to be opened. Opens up our insights and ideas in a way that we didn't expect to move forward. And as we do this, we claim ourselves. We claim what we want. We claim what we need to see. Excuse me. And as we claim this, we find ourselves moving forward in ferocity, intensity, and insight. There's going to be a sense of the seeds being planted, and the seeds that are being planted are the ones that are going to nourish us. It is looking at things in a very different way, putting things together that maybe we wouldn't have put together before, looking at what we want and where we desire being with an intensity that needs to be addressed. And it brings us then to our hearts saying, I'm entering into a new season. I'm entering into a new season of what I love. I'm entering into a new season of who I am and what I need and what I desire. Because on the 6th of October, again, the full moon in Libra has us entering into a new romantic cycle, has us entering into something beautiful, something powerful, and something intensely and personally us. As we embrace this time, as we embrace the changes that are that are part of us, we can feel like we're on a merry-go-round. No, not a merry-go-round, a roller coaster. And as we're on this roller coaster, it's not just a nice, simple, ride. There's intensity to it. There's the highs, the lows, the lefts, the right. And yet we can feel like we're just caught up in this. The Eight of Fire says, ready or not, here it comes. The Wheel of Fortune says, that's exactly true. You can't stop it even if you wanted to. And the Messenger of Earth says, look at things differently. Look at what you're planting. Look at what you desire. Look at what you want. It brings us to the King of Pentacles. This time is very prosperous for us. It brings a place of wealth coming forward, or what we value as much as money. The King of Earth says, this is what I claim. This is what I want. This is who I am. These are the seeds that have been planted. These are the seeds that I'm growing within myself. This is the prosperity that is a part of me. And this is the abundance that moves me forward. Nothing and no one is going to stop me. I move forward in intensity. I move forward in my insight. I move forward in what I want. I am king. I deserve to sit on this throne. I deserve to claim this prosperity. We're claiming it of heart. Okay, we're claiming it of soul. We're claiming it of self. We're opening up the door and we're saying, this is me. No apologies, no second guessing out loud. We are moving forward. It's like, ready or not, here I come. This is who I am. This is what I'm nurturing. This is what I'm growing. This is what I want on my earthly plane. It brings us then to the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is success, prosperity, and abundance that lasts for generations. The Ten of Pentacles is a generational blessing instead of a generational curse. And a generational curse is simply negative words that have been spoken over our families, our loved ones, our caregivers, and they then spoke them over us. The Ten of Pentacles is saying to us, there's prosperity, there's abundance, and there's wealth here. I open the door to this wealth. I open the door to this prosperity. I open the door to this intensity to create what I want to create within my life and not be held back by the negativity or the pauper mentality of others. And what comes forward then is the Four of Pentacles. This is vampiric energy. This is stagnation. And as we look at stagnation, it's like, okay, well, why can't I manifest this? And manifestation, visualization gets a bad rap. It really does. But the thing with manifestation and visualization is that the mind does not know the difference between make-believe and reality, which is a scary thing to say. And so if we visualize, if we say, this is what I'm going to manifest, and we talk it over ourselves every single day, we start to open up the gateways of our minds to say, this is what I've done. This is how I've succeeded. This is my abundance and my prosperity. And this is what I was born to do. Or this is absolutely right for me. The vampiric energy that comes into play makes us question ourselves because we had this negativity spoken over us. We had people rob our energy. We had people overwhelm us. We had people deny us. We had ourselves feeling overwhelmed and denied and hurt and just thinking, I have to stop. And so when we have the vampiric energy come in, we feel ourselves kind of huddling in on ourselves. When we feel that the energy isn't flowing, we need to step back and say, how do I stay in my lane? Not how do I limit myself, but how do I stay in the energy that I need to propel me forward? Everybody is different. Everybody needs different things. An introvert does not need the same thing as an extrovert. If you put an introvert in the middle of, a huge party all the time, they'd be drained all the time. Whereas if you locked a extrovert away, they'd be drained all the time. So we have to find this balance within us. We have to find this balance within our energy, within what's right for us, within what isn't right for us, and within the power that guides us forward. The vampiric energy that comes through makes us think, I can't strive for more. Or makes us think, I have to hold on to this because I'm never going to achieve more. I'm never going to have what it is that I truly want because I'm not worthy of it. It's not saying to be greedy at all. It's saying know what it is that you desire. Sometimes being contented with the quieter things in life, the more humble things in life is exactly where we need to be. And it's not always having the fanciest car or the biggest house or, something to brag about all the time. That's obnoxious. What it is being able to say I'm contented within myself. And there's power here. And that power starts to lead us to success that comes in the way of wealth or what we value as much as money. And it brings us to the Empress. It brings us here, because the Empress, once again, is depicted as pregnant, to birthing forward our creative aspect of ourselves within our life, within our soul, within our desire for this earth. And again, it doesn't mean that we have to have children or want children or be able to have children. What it means is that we are able to say, this is what I want. This is what I'm creating. This is the powerful part of me that opens up the door and guides me forward. And as the door is opened, I claim myself more and more. As I see myself, I understand myself. As I look at what I need, what I want, and what I desire, I look at me. And I claim the throne that was lost. I claim the voice that was silenced. I claim the power of my instincts and my ideas that became out of rhythm with who I am and where it is that I want to be. It leads us to the High Priestess. The veil is lifted from our eyes, and we see that which was denied us. We see that which maybe was too uncomfortable to really see before. And with this full moon, there's a sense of, I'd rather see the truth than be comfortable with lies. There's a sense of, I need to move this forward, and I need to move forward within the power, the intensity, and the brilliance that is me. When the veil is lifted from our eyes, it's not just lifted for ourselves, though that is also true. It's lifted for the way that we interact with others. We're not going to see people wearing the mask that they want to wear, being perceived in the way that they want to be perceived, where we're going to see them as who they truly are, or at least knowing them better and better and better. And that can be uncomfortable because some people like to tell lies to themselves and therefore tell lies to others. And they might not do it purposefully or even intentionally, but it does happen. And now when we see people for who they truly are, and we see ourselves for who we truly are, and we see where we're headed for what it truly is, we can step back and be like, oh, is that the path that I want to be on? Is that the person I want to trust? Is this how I want to be thinking about myself? And so a lot of honesty, a lot of intention, a lot of power comes forward during this time. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh. And show me clearly. Let's put this out. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom, we have our rooted self, which is fear. You're very close to achieving your goals. That makes perfect sense because we're so close, and we have the Chariot, we have the Empress. We're so close to getting to where it is that we want to be. We're so close to embracing the romance of our hearts, the passion of our souls, what we desire, that there's a sense of fear. There's a sense of, I can't do that. Like, I can't cross that line. I can't step into myself. I can't. And what Spirit is saying here is that, yes, of course you can. The moon is saying, let me shine the light on this. It will not be the light of the sun. It will not be the light that takes away all the shadows. But what it will be is the light of honesty, intention, integrity, determination. It brings us then to our inner self, which is abundance, prosperity, success, that comes from us being the student of our connection with the earth. And it says, be bold and make the first move. Nothing is going to happen by us simply twiddling our thumbs and saying, I wish it would. What's going to happen is when we seize on the moment and we say, I am. And as we say, we are, we open up that door. We open up to ourselves. We move forward. And it brings us then to our emotional self. Focus. Confidence is your key to success. And that's the full moon. That's the new moon in Leo. So that's where that Leo energy was coming through, even at our root. At our heart, it says focus. Confidence is your key to success. Focus on the beauty and the brilliance and the assurity of yourself. It's not cockiness, okay? It's not arrogance. What it is confidence. It's saying, I have the right to walk this path. I have the right to call forward abundance. And as I call forward abundance, as I walk this path, as I embrace my prosperity, I focus more and more and more on me. But I focus on the alignment of my heart, not the alignment of what everybody else wants from me, or what everybody thinks that I'm supposed to be doing, or what I think everybody wants from me and thinks I'm supposed to be doing. I focus on the alignment of my heart. And as I focus on the alignment of my heart, I live my life. I do not live anybody else's. It brings us then to our public self, which is growth, which we can absolutely see here through our connection with the earthly plane, through our wealth and prosperity. And it says, take time to breathe out. During this time, there's going to be growth, there's going to be intensity, there's going to be power. Take time to breathe out. Take time to release the negativity. Take time to make sure that you have the boundaries up, because remember, this full moon in Pisces lessens our boundaries, because it connects us with our dreams so intensely, because it connects us with our spiritual and compassionate self, where we just want to let everything in and sit within us. And yet that's not healthy. That doesn't heal anybody. Well, actually, it might help people because we give them our higher energy vibration, but it drains us. And so it only helps a few. Instead of being able to have conscious boundaries and not be dragged down, not be denied, not be aggravated or overwhelmed. And then it moves us to our subconscious Luna message, which is trust. The end of a tough cycle is approaching. And that's what we have to trust during this time. And that's what we have to trust for us as individuals. We have to trust that the tough cycle is approaching. We have to trust that the lessons are being learned and the insight is being had and the door is being opened. It leads us then to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that is the Hierophant, the High Priest. Focusing too much on the material, not connecting with the sensual. It's a Taurus energy that's out of alignment. Now, when a Taurus energy is in alignment, they are prosperous, they are abundant, they are sensual, they are connected. And this is going to be here, taking that connection and robbing it away and saying the only thing that is worth anything is the power that you have and the bank account that you carry. And though power and money is important, yes, saying it's not is a bit foolish. It's not everything. And it's not the only thing, and it's not even one of the top 10. Maybe money is because it brings you security and stability, and that's important. But massive, obscene buckets of wealth, where does that get you? Power that everybody turns to you for advice or for the answers, and yet can't wait for you to fall, where does that get you? And so here we are rooted in the power of ourselves, and we need to be rooted in the power of our sensual heart and being. If we lose track of that, we lose track of a huge part of who we are and what we want. We're also going to be very drawn to people who very much count the dollars, very much, have a very clear-cut, determined idea of what success is and what prosperity should be. It leads us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that is Mother Earth. That's why Spirit had us talking about the connection with the earth being so important. This is the Earth Star Chakra located 6 inches below our feet. And what we're doing here is we're grounding ourselves to the earth. We're remembering that the earth feeds and nurtures us, but we're also remembering that that Mother Earth brings hurricanes and tornadoes and, wildfires and intensity that destroys as well as it nurtures and builds. So we're never going to be just one thing. When people say, embrace the Earth Mother, they're always saying, embrace, or they're usually saying, embrace somebody who's calm and loving and just so giving. Well, we have to remember not to give ourselves all away, kind of like the giving tree. Not to be so generous that there is nothing left. And remember the ferocity that nature also holds. That it's not all about giving. It's also about taking. It then leads us to our subconscious rooted self. And that is the Emperor. I love that. You have the Emperor and the Empress here. This is a time that can be absolutely everything. This is a time of intensity, soulmate connection, true love connection, this sense of the door being opened and power coming in. This is because we're not going to settle for less. This is because we're claiming the thrones and the voice that we need, that we desire, that opens up the door and guides us in insight and tenacity. This is a time where we can be surprised at what we accomplish. And we can be surprised at the ferocity that is us. This is also Aries energy, which connects us with the full moon in Aries on the 20th of October. And we're going to find that that has a powerful pull for us during this time. The fieriness comes out. We have to make sure we balance the fieriness because it can kind of take over. Because we have the calm of the Pisces and the intensity of the Aries. We need to balance them. We can find that they get out of balance, and one day we're very calm and the other day we're very intense. We have to make sure we find this harmony for us. Our subconscious inner self is the 4 of Earth. That's the vampiric energy. But here it becomes the standing stones. It's saying, this is immutably me. I do not move, I do not falter, I do not fail. This is where I've been planted. This is what I desire. This is where I stand. And it's kind of like you cannot bleed a stone. You can't. You can chisel away a stone, yes, but it still exists. And so with the vampiric energy, the energy that tries to take away, understanding that we will always exist, understanding that we are always powerful, understanding to root ourselves and to stand tall is going to be intrinsically important. It then moves us to our emotional self, our subconscious emotional self, which is the 9 of Swords. We worry. Worry is a part of human existence. We worry that we won't move forward the way that we want to. We worry and overthink and overanalyze and get too much in our own heads. And Mercury squared Pluto can really take over and say, it's too much. You have to worry. You have to dive deeper. You have to seek out more. And this is going to be a time where we kind of need to step back and say, maybe not. Maybe I need to seek exactly where I stand now. And maybe I need to climb out of my own thoughts, my own fears, my own worries, and embrace the power that is me and the doors that I am opening as we, step into the public arena. And that leads us to the Page of Cups. That leads us to playfulness, to being in harmony with ourselves. Because remember, a human being cannot play if they do not feel safe. And so here, it's embracing being a student of our hearts, being a student of our emotions. It's embracing letting ourselves play, letting ourselves laugh, letting ourselves enjoy. Not taking any one thing too seriously. Grounding ourselves in our energy and opening up our hearts. This is also water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So this moon becomes our teacher. And we learn so much from it. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the beauty of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra, and may you have a blessed moon.